I want to welcome the GMs and the wives, the godly men and the warm, inviting, feminine, empathetic women out there. In today's video topic, I want to discuss the narcissistic glow that some of these narcissists have and what that really is, because a lot of the times lately there's been a lot of terms like a relationship glow up, or you're just starting to get that attractiveness glow to you, or whatever floats your boat, right? What exactly does this mean with the narcissistic glow? The narcissistic glow is not a presence of magnetic energy. You've all met some kind of form of attractive individuals or attractive persons where you feel like this magnetism toward them, and that's like there's this charisma, or there's this certain sense of understanding that the other person has. It's like this person, in a way, you're like seeing into the eyes of some glorious being, right? And even with the narcissist, you can kind of feel that sometimes. You kind of get that sense that, wow, this is someone that I really feel drawn to. But what that being drawn to is not necessarily magnetism. It's a soul-sucking energy. So how do you tell the difference between someone that is trying to suck the life out of you and kill your soul, and someone that is trying to actually just be who they are through their authenticity? Well, the answer lies in your own discernment. You have to be able to know who you are. You have to be able to know and trust yourself, because believe me, I was the kind of person that did not trust himself growing up, because I was gaslit so much, and I had so many different kinds of environments that I was in that just didn't promote a positive sense of well-being and trust in myself and just communication with myself. I didn't even know what it was like to feel my own feelings and name my own feelings until I was in my early 20s. I didn't even realize what that meant. Like, how was a man supposed to even feel something? Like, I really had a lot of difficulties with my emotions, and a lot of that was just because I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I was really yearning to be in my life. I didn't have a purpose. I didn't have just something to live for. And here's the thing about purpose, right? Purpose is not always going to be something that is this super mind-blowing whatever, but it's just something that is going to be able to give you a reason to wake up in the morning with a sense of joy and zest and this willingness to continue forward. And it's like Carl Jung said in one of his last interviews. He said that it is simply a psychological fact that when we believe that there's going to be a tomorrow, so to speak, we feel better. So it's kind of like salt in food, right? We don't really understand why adding salt actually is going to make the food taste better, but we know that it's simply a fact that it does. This is the same way. So the narcissist is not capable of that kind of thinking. The narcissist is not capable of that kind of thought. Even though the narcissist may seem like the kind of person to sell you a dream and all of these things and give you everything that you could have hoped for and wanted, but what they've been doing is studying you. They've been studying you. They've seen what you are missing in your life, and now they're trying to suck your life away because they don't have anything on the inside. These are people that see people as legitimate objects in their world. You know, I remember even growing up around narcissists, it would almost be as if the narcissists themselves were seeing me as an extension of them. And I never understood that. I was like, I'm my own person, thank you very much. But they didn't understand that, and they didn't want to understand that. They didn't feel like that was anything that was worth even discussing, was my individuality. My individuality is what saved me, and my individuality is what also cured me from the codependent disease that I had. I was a highly codependent individual. I was highly avoidant in my attachment styles. I didn't like to get too close to people, because whenever I did get too close, usually something would happen in my previous relationships with my upbringing, where whenever there was closeness, there was also pain. And because whenever I would reveal certain things, people would use that information against me down the line. And I was always told, "Oh, you can tell us anything. You can tell us anything." Beefness. No, you cannot always tell everybody everything. Some things are meant to just go to God and God alone. And if you don't really understand that, then there's probably some more form of healing for you to do. And I say this not to ostracize anybody or to degrade anybody's progress, but the narcissistic pull is going to keep you there unless you understand more about who you are and your triggers. If you can identify your triggers, that's going to be a huge step, okay? Because and guess what? I'm very open about my triggers with people if I'm trying to actually get them in my inner circle. And the reason being is because I will then know if this person is intentionally trying to trigger me, then, well, then they need to go. There was a comment a while back on one of my other YouTube videos on narcissism where this person actually would tell people fake triggers and then see if they would try to activate the fake triggers. That was a pretty smart idea, to be honest. And I wouldn't necessarily recommend that, because in a way you are lying. And even though I'm very big on spirit and truth on this channel and just in my own life, I think that operating in spirit and truth is going to be more beneficial. And I'm not saying that you like sometimes you're going to need to tell a white lie to somebody, or just be vague. Maybe be truthful but vague. If somebody's trying to get a lot of information out of you or trying to scam you or something, like, obviously you can just be like, "No thanks," or "I've got somewhere to be. I've got somewhere to go." If they're trying to like stop you in the street or something. But ultimately you just want to be truthful. That's the most important thing, and that's the biggest deterrent of how do I say this? Truthfulness is the biggest deterrent for narcissists in general. So anything that is true, narcissists at first are going to want to try to manipulate you sometimes if they feel like they can get something from you. This is going to be something that you're going to be like a challenge for them. And this is another part of their glow that they have. They have this glow about them where you at first are really captivated by this seemingly charming, maybe even flirtatious, suave if he's a man, or very classy yet sophisticated woman. Because there are women that I've met that are highly sophisticated looking and super innocent on the outside looking, but those women are freaking nuts. Those women are freaking crazy. And those are sometimes the kinds of women that you need to stay away from the most. But it's all about spiritual discernment. And there was a time where even just a year ago, I was not anywhere near as spiritually inclined as I am today. It's like every single day I'm leveling up super in so many different super awesome ways that I only can praise the Most High God. But at the same time, it's like I know that these gifts are being used in a way where I'm helping people. I'm not using the gifts to manipulate. This is one thing that the narcissistic glow has about them. It's like they have this energy of they want to help you grow or get something or take something. But what they really want is to take your energy and to take your time, to take your resources, and quite literally drain your life away. These are the kinds of people that will tell you, they might even use the truth to tell lies, right? This is one of the famous quotes from, well, I don't know how famous it is, but it's something that I remembered from Game of Thrones, Cersei Lannister. Cersei Lannister, who was basically the evil queen at the time, and she would use the truth to tell lies. And that's how she pretty much won the Game of Thrones at one point. And she was able to use the truth to tell lies. And this is what narcissists, especially ones that are highly sophisticated, do really well. They might be the men or the women in the suits or the ties and the dresses, etc. But when you look into their eyes, you can see that there's like a dead shark eye to them. And you've got to be very careful, because in people's eyes that have light in them, there's almost like a little twinkle in the back of the eye, where you can see that they still know that they're capable of danger. Even though they're on the side of good, a truly integrated person is calm and confident in who they are, but they also understand that they're capable of that dark side. And so there's a certain kind of light that isn't necessarily dark, but it's like a light that is recognizing the darkness in themselves. You can see this in people that are actually integrated or that are in the integration process of their individuality. The narcissistic glow seems to have that kind of thing in the beginning, but through time, you'll start to see that that glow is really just a vacuum. That glow is just a vacuum. So you want to be careful with understanding how to maneuver around these kinds of individuals, because sometimes you might feel this drawnness to them. But what that drawnness is them trying to latch onto your energy and literally suck your life force, whether it's through a succubus, whether it's through an incubus, for those women out there watching this video. Whatever it is, it could be any kind of sexual demon. It could be just a demon that just wants your energy, not necessarily your sexual energy. You've got to be careful. You've got to be mindful of this kind of stuff and be very understanding of where you're coming from. Because if you can understand where you're coming from, you can understand what kind of people you might attract down the line and why you're attracting these kinds of people and what they're attracted to in you based off of your previous relationships. And so the more that you grow, the more you're going to be able to attract different kinds of patterns of behaviors and different kinds of people, because the more that you change your behavior, the more that people around you, you're either going to have their behavior change as well, or you're just not going to be compatible, or you're going to have just new people altogether that you're going to be dealing with. Either way, be mindful, be in alignment spiritually and connected to the Most High God, and have discernment. Ask God for discernment if you need any. So with that being said, I hope this message was useful and insightful. And until next time, peace be with you.